Good morning and welcome to Sunday Soul Talks, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Think about that job. How powerful it is to shape a child's mind. And that's why it's so important to heal our own, because we just pass on the pain that we experienced from the generation before. Wow, didn't think I would go here. But if you don't heal, that's okay too. It's okay. Because no one's being hurt. In the truth of life, no one's being damaged or hurt by you're not doing anything wrong. Period. And I'm back on my phone because I did not get a new microphone, but I'm going to. This week was a little busy. Sissy and Sherry are going home. This is our last beach day together. We're going to Venice today. Yesterday, or last night, because yesterday we stayed home. Last night we went to see a Bon Jovi tribute band at the Twisted Fork in Port Charlotte. What a great night. And it just so happened, apparently, you're supposed to reserve tables. I didn't know anything about that. So Sissy and Peter just sat down while I was going. I asked a couple of people, and they said, you got to go talk to somebody. They were pointing to where I was heading. And then I saw another couple just showed up, and they said, oh, no, if you need a table, he said, him and his wife, her name was Laurel, and his name was Twig. That's his nickname. Laurel was her name, like Laurel and Hardy. Mine's Lori, and our waitress was Lauren. Anyway, she was saying, both of them were saying, you can sit here. We had 4 people that were coming with us. First he asked how many of us were there, and I said, there's 4 of us. He said, we had 4 people that were coming, and they backed out, so there you go. So how perfect was that? So, yeah, there was a band before that, and then the Bon Jovi. It was a nice night, really nice. We were dancing and singing. Yeah, I typed in 5 minutes to join me. Aw, that was my mother-in-law. Happy Mother's Day, Travis and Taylor's mom. Ah, we got to call her. Maybe I'll call her from the beach. Okay, she's doing really good at texting. She's in her 80s, mid-80s, and she's texting on a flip phone, no less, with the 3. That's how it started way back in the day. So, I typed in here that I wanted to start this and talk about smiling. Just a simple smile when you go in a grocery store and lock eyes with somebody, or instead of averting your attention, not trying to look at anybody. cannot tell you how powerful just a simple smile is. And I didn't realize it because I go around in the schools or wherever I am. I'm always smiling. It's just part of me. And it's a genuine smile when I see someone, whether I know them or not. But I had this happen to me in Fort Myers High School. A girl, because usually the kids don't lock eyes with you. They don't. You know, they're in their little groups of talking, or if they're walking alone, they're usually looking down. But if I lock eyes with somebody, I give them a big smile. This one girl, I was trying to get to a different room, and I was concerned about where I was going. If I didn't know, because I didn't know that school very good yet. And she caught my attention and smiled first. And I cannot tell you how that felt. It was immediate recognition of, wow, that's how it feels when you smile at someone. It's such a simple thing that your mind, ego would say, but it is powerful. A simple smile is all it takes. That can cheer somebody's whole day up. Because I know I felt it. Right in my heart, I felt it. Then, after that, I wanted to talk about judgment and how our minds are judging machines. Literally, it's a generated judging machine. There's something that happens, then there's automatic thoughts of how either good or bad it is and why. What if nothing is bad? No matter what it looks like to your mind. Because your eyes don't judge. They're just seeing. It's your mind. They actually say that your eyes don't even see. You're seeing. Good morning, Kim. Happy Mother's Day to you, too. That's how I started off this thing, telling everybody Happy Mother's Day. And how mothers are powerful in shaping the next generation. Or even the generation after that with our grandkids. Being their biggest supporter. That's why grandparents, we don't have the pressure of, like, when you're a parent, you believe you have to turn this kid into a upstanding citizen, or he or she has to be blah, blah, blah. Which takes away, they feel it. It takes away who they really are. But that's okay. However they are shaped is the way they were meant to be shaped. And there's nothing wrong in it. Everything is happening exactly the way it's meant to happen. Everything. Even the wars, I was talking about how our minds are judging machines. There's something that happens and immediately there's a story being told in our minds about if it's good or bad, right or wrong. It's the duality thing instead of it just being happening. Everything is just happening. And I hear in a lot of spiritual groups that I'm in how hard it is to this earthly plane is hard. It's only hard because we think it's hard, because we judge it as hard. If something seems to happen and it's not something the mind likes, which is a lot of it, like it's supposed to be like something like 100 degrees here today. We're having some crazy early heat. And we thought it was yesterday too. And we went to that Bon Jovi band and we were outside. I thought my mind had a judgment of, oh my God, we're going to be dying. No, it was underneath this big pavilion. It's called the Twisted Fork. It's a Harley Davidson place, but they made this really good restaurant. Very good. And a big pavilion covering it with all the lights and it's got, anyway, there was a lot of people there last night. We had fun. I mean, Bon Jovi, come on. We all know every single song, so we were having a blast. Yep, today's the last day for Sissy and JR. Sissy and her sister-in-law, JR's sister. Sherry, we've been having a great time together. Oh, my God. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Cher. They're up above us. Anyway, so our minds are a judging machine, judging this to be wrong and this to be right. Back and forth constantly. But just like the Course in Miracles says, there is no bad, there is no wrong. It's all happening exactly the way it's meant to for you. Because when the mind judges something to be wrong, we are a victim of whatever's happening, whatever somebody said. There's no victims. Even though it looks like there are victims. Take the Holocaust. Look like all those victims. This is going to challenge your mind big time because that was such a horrible. It's what happened. Whether you hate Hitler or think that that's a horrible thing that happened, all of that is living in you. That judgment, that pain, that upset is living in your body. That is past, gone. It's literally thought. It's literally living in thought. You can't touch a thought. It's gone. And another thing that causes anxiety inside the body is the future. Because the past is gone. It's done. If somebody did something to you, that's done. Seemingly to you. Like say somebody slapped you across the face and your mind holds contempt for that person for the rest of your life. That contempt lives in your body. You're not hurting them. You're continuing the hurting in yourself. It only happened once. But the continuation, how many times do you revisit it as soon as that person comes into your mind? There's that is in your body, which interrupts the harmony that goes on in your body without thought saying it should be a different way or should have been a different way. It can't should have been a different way. It's all about learning, coming back to who you really are, which isn't those thoughts or this body. When we believe we are this body, it is painful because it's never enough. You can't get skinny enough or pretty enough or whatever for it. No matter, I mean, remember Cindy Crawford, I used to think she was so beautiful. I remember she was on Oprah. And she was talking about, she was putting herself down. Different parts of her. What? Oh my gosh. It just proved to me our minds are conditioned to believe that we are wrong. There's something wrong with us. We're not good enough. And it isn't true. And your body's trying to let you know because you're feeling like shit inside. When you feel like shit inside, you know you're believing some thought or you're attached to something that isn't true. Listen to your body. It knows. When it's contracting inside, when something happens and there's an automatic, right there, you know. Take a breath. See, as soon as you take a breath, those shoulders come down. Most tension, most people's is in the shoulders because they're up, because we're anxious, worrying about a future that doesn't exist. There is no future and there is no past. It's literally living in your mind in thought. You can't ever touch a thought. A thought isn't real. So true. I look at pictures of 10 years ago. I thought I was, right? Oh my gosh. I had a similar thing happen. Looking back, thinking, feeling like crap because I'm so fat. I look back, that thought is ingrained in Lori's mind. How fat. Even when she's been thin, there's been a roller coaster of ups and downs. Every time there's a new, that's another thing. When you're ready to get beyond your thought process, there's always something that seemingly happens, and there's a time where you go inside and you're like, after the scam. I've never grown so much and through that scam after it was over. I'm telling you, the shame, the guilt, all of that negative, sitting with it, feeling it. That's the bottom line. Knowing if you can just hang on to when you go into a dip, you know that growth is happening. Dips are okay. It's just this mind that says, something's wrong with me. I shouldn't be, whatever. If we accept what is, that's when life goes smoothly. Accepting what is. Actually, Byron Katie's book is called Loving What Is. Because it's for us, no matter what. It is for us, not to us. We're not victims of life or of somebody else. Your mind, like mine used to hold on to. There was a boy in high school that used to torment me because I was easily tormented, especially about my nose. It's so cool not to have to, even think about that anymore. But back then, I could think about all the different people that so-called did something to me. My mind, when an image of a person, we're talking back when I was a kid. When I first woke up, I saw how all of those seeming hurts were, good morning, Cynthia. Those seeming hurts were adding up. They were collecting in my mind of, that's why the older we get, the more crotchety most people are. Because there's so much angst and bitterness against someone else when it's over and done with. From childhood, it holds on to, he did I don't like him because he did this to me, or she did this to me, and she's a horrible person. No one is a horrible person. No one. Everybody's doing their best. And when you judge somebody else as a horrible person, you're hurting you because we're not separate. We are the same essence. Whatever's animating this, whatever's blowing the trees, well, not much today, and beating that heart, it's nothing. It's some people say it's energy. Whatever it is, it's every human. And we're not separate. That's everybody else is who we are. There's no separation. Our little egos, our little minds, that when we were labeled Lori, started looking in the mirror. Oh, that's me. That's the minute the separation starts happening. Because the responsibility, you need to be responsible. That's what I was talking about, how powerful grandmothers are for kids. Because when we're raising our kids, we need to make them responsible human beings. As if they're not going to be on their own. Anyway, it was what was done to us. So we just continue. But when we're grandparents, that responsibility isn't there anymore. Not as strong, anyway. And you can just be their biggest cheerleader. And your kid's biggest cheerleader, even though it looks like they're not doing it right, they are doing exactly what they're meant to be doing for that child. No matter what your mind says to the contrary. That's just making you miserable inside by the judgment. The judgment stops. Judgment stops love from flowing. And love is what we are. It puts it behind a cage. Keeps it stuck. You don't even... Oh, what did we see this week? We saw something this week where there was... Was it Hulk Hogan? We were watching something. I think it was about Hulk Hogan. We watched that yesterday during the day. It was a documentary about he died at 71. It was shocking to everybody. But it was talking about his wife leaving him because he cheated on her with somebody. And then her going, oh, yes, it was her, his wife. They met young before he was really famous. And they had kids together. And then, it was tough. He was on the road a lot doing all... the Hulk things. And when he cheated on her, she took it personally. Of course, that's what the mind does. That hits the something's wrong with me. That's exactly what it is. When somebody cheats, it doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to. Cynthia says, Happy Mother's Day to all. Yeah, this is going to stretch that ego too. It's going to make it go, what? He did this to me or she did this to me. Can you imagine the freedom if you let that go and realize it had nothing to do with you? I almost did that. I almost left my husband and my kids. That's how powerful that ego has over you. But that led to my awakening. So I don't regret it one bit. Kim says, thank you, Cynthia. And she says, Happy Mother's Day back. You have the best people. You guys. Anyway, so I had a young boy. Okay, so, wait. Okay, I'm going to remember that. The Hulk thing. The wife, which she wanted a divorce. It was a nasty, awful. Anyway, he had to get an apartment or whatever down in Venice, Clearwater. They lived in Clearwater. And she started dating this very young guy. And he would get in Hulk's boat and go on the water, and Hulk, knowing he would see it and she'd be hanging on. She goes, just making him jealous. That's all ego. All of that is not real. She loved him deeply, but he hurt me, which isn't true. He did his own thing. It didn't have to hurt you. That's yours. That hurt is, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that we are conditioned to believe we are a little me living inside this body, this me, and it takes everything personally. Doesn't have to be. It does not have to be. That's what causes all your suffering, is taking shit personally that isn't personal. Everybody's doing what's best for them, has nothing to do with you. So, after he died, it was so sudden. Good morning, Margie. Happy Mother's Day. Revenge is not revenge lives in your body. That's another thing. Him, I'm gonna get, yeah. And she's talking about this in this documentary, which is recent. So she's still, and she's not even, I don't want to say, well, ashamed about it. Thank you, Margie. It's not about shame. I mean, it is. I don't want her to be shamed, but you can see her ego is still in that same spot. She hasn't learned anything, but that's okay. Anyway, she was saying how much after he died, that heart comes back out. The ego softens. No more having to have this game of, I'm right, you're wrong, you hurt me. All of that, when somebody dies, is gone. And then they start talking about how wonderful. He was a great guy. He did so much. I didn't even realize, especially for kids with cancer. He'd go in there and he realized what a role model he was. But he's human, too. There's that human side. And I know how powerful, because I literally almost left Peter and the boys to be with somebody else, because when you meet somebody and there's that attraction, you don't even know what the heck's going on inside. You don't know. The thoughts are like, oh, and the thoughts were, did I settle? Did I just marry Peter because I was supposed to? All that shit was going through my head, and then I started saying, is this love? With the butterflies and all that with another guy, is that what love is? Because when I really sat with, because that was feeding the ego. When you meet somebody new and the butterflies and all that, the newness of it, that wears off. It does not. If you get a year out of that, you're lucky, because it does not. Then there's that comfortable, no different with a new job, a new house, a new car, new clothes, new shoes. It wears off. It doesn't continue. There's just that newness. It goes away. That's why you have to keep. That's why look, Elizabeth Taylor. How many husbands did she have thinking that was that infatuation, that newness was what love was? That is not love at all. It is infatuation. It's feeding that ego. It loves to be adored. Because the bottom line to it is, I'm not enough. Something's wrong with me. So that other person is filling up that. But if they don't, I don't know, look at somebody else, or I don't know, talk with somebody else, another nice looking woman that looks better than you, or for a guy, just the opposite. What comes up? Jealousy, all that, because you need that person to validate you. You need that person. That's what they're doing. They're validating that you're okay. But if they don't, ooh, then what? Look at these little tiny bugs flying around. They're so small, they came through the screen. Anyway, yeah, that ego mind is so butthurt all the time. It loves, that's what it lives for, being butthurt. by someone or something happening. Oh, this week I was in an accident. So, everybody's okay. If I was going to have an accident, that one was but I was like, what the? Okay. So I was going to the school that I'm working at now, then to the end of the year. And I got from the main road into the parking lot is a long road, a one-way road. One way, one car. And I'm already in the parking lot, but I need to turn left to go into the spot I wanted. All of a sudden, boom! My front, what? This guy came from behind and smashed the front of my car. What the heck? I literally did not know what to do. After I hear the crunch, I'm like, So I get out and he gets out his running boards. He says I hit him. It was perfect for Lori's ego. I said to him, this is a no-fault insurance place. That's what Florida is. But Peter challenged them and said, I'm already paying for, that's what insurance is about. When somebody hits you, right? I'm not going to pay on top of that. So he dropped that no fault. He says, I'm not paying that extra. No. So he didn't. Because we're going to pay for it anyway. What? It makes zero sense, this no fault. How come nobody's questioned that? I don't understand why nobody has questioned why they're paying twice for insurance down here. No fault. What? Anyway. So, because you're going to pay for it anyway if it's no fault state. So why would you pay twice? I don't know if anybody else has questioned them on that, but took a chunk of money off our bill. Anyway, so I just said to him, it's no fault. I'm going to pay. You're going to pay for yours. So because I didn't have a blinker on. I never thought I'd need a blinker in a parking lot. But that's what the thought came up right away. I didn't have my blinker, like I was going to turn left. But in hindsight, thinking about it, I came to see that he was definitely, that anybody would say he was in the wrong. But whatever. It's a no-fault state. I'm coming back to that. So, Peter, it looked terrible when I saw it, but it missed the headlight. It literally is only the quarter panel because he was able to buff out the bumper. It doesn't, now it's just a dent, a small dent. It's not a huge dent. It was from his running boards. His was worse than mine. His truck was much worse than mine because his running boards are going to have to be coming off, or that one. So, there was a point I wanted to make there. Oh, what, Tucci? Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. He's such a love bug, that cat. He has no hair, except on his tail. He's very soft on his tail, but he's naked. I've seen it in books and magazines or whatever, but I've never seen one in real life. He's such a sweet cat. Anyway, if there was going to be an accident, that was not painful. And I was grateful. The minute it happened, another thought came, how grateful if I was going to have an accident, that was, very, very grateful that it was that. And that's the thing. Whenever something happens, you have a choice whether to go into, I could have gotten out of there and said, what the hell were you doing passing me in a parking lot with one, I could have, none of that was there. Just like the lady that yelled at me at Luke Bryan. None of the gratitude, the compassion as the little me lets go or whatever's happening after you hear this message. Situations, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens is what matters. And the reaction, it's funny, the reaction to bigger things seems to be easier for Lori than the smaller things. Like, what did Peter do? Yes. Something little. And I caught myself going into a reactionary, and then it holds that. I laughed at it. The minute you realize your heart's behind a wall, blaming somebody else for how you're feeling, you have to laugh. If you can laugh, it takes it all away. It takes all that bullshit away. Anytime we judge somebody else for doing life wrong, whose business are you in? That's a huge one that Katie taught us. I think that was 2013, I think. Because it was 2012 that I went to the yoga thing with Angie in Hawaii. So it was 2013 when I went to Byron Katie's school. That was a life-changing school. 9 days. No talking and doing the work. Boy, powerful. Her school is powerful. Puts you, as long as you're willing. You have to be willing. And she says, you're going to get out of it what you want to get out of it. Because, like my roommate, who was married with kids, started hooking up with another guy. And you're not even supposed to be talking. This is about going in. So she said she took our phones away, and even chocolate. She took my chocolate away. I had M&Ms already. She took everything we use to distract ourselves away. My mother was freaking out. Now I see why. Because she's coming from the ego, and what if something happens to Lori? Because there was zero communication for 9 full days. I was in California. Peter didn't know. Nobody knew what was going on. But we didn't have to give up our phones. But if you wanted your money's worth and to go within, you had to do it. And I did. And, I'm so glad I did. Not the chocolate, right, Denise? I just can't. Oh, my God. I was talking with Denise earlier. But chocolate, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't have chocolate. I love chocolate. And it is a distraction. I see it. After I eat, there's something that kicks in. It's a pattern. It's a pattern I see that she needs something chocolate now. Actually, I can't say that it's every time because when I'm at school, it's not that way. It's not. I just realized that. It's not that way at school. Huh. That's pretty cool. To actually see it. See, that's another thing. Your mind doesn't... The things that are really good to notice, that's why Katie's thing is all about, are you noticing? Noticing. Now, that's a big noticing that I don't have to have chocolate when I'm at school. And when you notice something, then it doesn't have that grip over you. The pattern isn't just going without any attention. When a negative pattern, like when I first started this journey and Howard used to talk, he would point out the positive things that Lori did. Lori was always kind and as much as possible with people. It's just it's what Dad was like, and it just was automatic. But she didn't give herself credit for that. It was always blame. Not enough. She never did enough. Oh, that poor girl. When you let go and just be yourself without believing those thoughts that something's wrong with me, I'm not doing it right, I'm not worthy, which is what this whole message is about. That little me is not worthy. Little Kim, little Cynthia, little Margie. When you believing you are that, it's not worthy. It's not good enough. And that's the void. That's the hole that we're trying to fill with things of the world. We're trying to have to look good, have to get clothes, get shoes, like I said earlier, houses, cars, whatever, just to make it worthy in their eyes. But all the while, it's your own eyes. It's your own judgment against yourself that you're not enough. So you have to have more and more things of the world to fill you up, but they don't. Nothing worldly will ever fill that void of a you, of the little me. Nothing will fill it in this world. You have to look inside and realize that little me is not who I am. And when I react to life, right there, oh, there I go. There she is. What is the thought I'm believing right now that's hurting me? They're not hurting me. 3 fingers are pointing back, showing you. You are. When they say, you hurt my feelings, that's not possible. First time I heard that was Roosevelt's wife. There was a quote that says, you can't hurt me without my permission. Anytime there's hurt in you and it's seemingly triggered by somebody, a trigger is in you. They've hit something that you're thinking and believing about yourself. That's not true. And that's why the body reacts, because it isn't true. But they are your gift. They are not your enemy. Each person that seemingly hurt you was your gift. Life is putting people in front of you to do these things so you can wake up to who you truly are. And that's being in the world, but not of it. Being awake in this dream of separation that never really happened. Life has always been exactly the way it's meant to be. It's our fighting it, our resisting, our pushing back and saying, no, it shouldn't be like this. They shouldn't have said that way. They shouldn't have done that. My daily affirmation is sending love to the little girl, young mother, the lady today. Aww. Right? When you send love to the person that you believe hurt you, start sending love instead of hate. As soon as their image comes across your mind, take a breath. Send love. Think about their heart and your heart connected, because they really are. The only thing in the way is the judgment of they hurt me. It's not true. It is not true, and you can see this if you're a little bit willing to actually see Nobody's hurting you but you. That person is you. You're not separate from them. This is really deep. Thank you guys for being here and entertaining this. If you are entertaining this, that ego, he ain't gonna like it. He or she ain't gonna like it. Because it's gonna fight for its right to party. That's a song. It's gonna fight because it doesn't want to die. It believes it's something and never wants to die. Ever. It wants to live to eternity. The thing is, what you really are lives to eternity. It doesn't die. But the ego, this body and mind, is going to. Great stuff, dear lady. Happy Mother's Day to you and so many more. Thank you, Nemo. I think when we first met, when Facebook just started, you were James Semino. I don't know if you had Michael in there or not. I think we just talked about that, and I've remembered your name was Michael. But then I kept calling you Jimmy. I never called you James. It seemed so formal. So you changed your name to Jimmy on your Facebook. And now Nemo. I have just as much fun. I want to write back Jimmy, but then I put Nemo because it's even more fun than Jimmy. Nemo makes me think of Dory. Dory and Nemo. My grandson's favorite movie when he first started watching movies. Thank you so much, Jimmy Nemo. Anyway, I don't know if this made sense. You know what? I don't even know what time it is. Always been Jimmy, my dear, and Nemo goes back to my childhood. Yeah, you're supposed to let me know that whole story, but it's a good thing I'm not holding my breath. I love you. God, I really want to know the story now. But anyway, we were back to, it's so clear in my head right now about how that little me has to fight and love you a ton. Carry on. Yeah, you have a great day. Have a good bike ride. That bike ride threw me into a different thought process because Jimmy is going to be sending heart hugs. Is it 10? It can't be 10 already. Doesn't feel like it. Cynthia, what time is it? Can you just type the time in there? Because I don't want to go. We're going to Venice. Yeah, Jimmy is 70. He's going to be 72 in July. And you would never know it. This man's body looks like he's, 30. His muscle, he works out and rides his bike miles every day. Even in the winter, he lives in Rochester. Or next to Rochester in New York. Crazy. I used to ride my bike a lot too. It's a different deal riding your bike. 9:48. Oh, thank you so much, Kim. Okay, I'm almost done. Riding your bike in Florida, everything is flat. There's no resistance. Unless it's a windy day, there's zero resistance. That's funny. Yeah. The hearts and the thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I can't tell who it's from, but you made my day. Aww. Goodbye for now. I'm glad. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, you guys, I think I'm going to end it. That was pretty deep. I don't know if you can follow it, but just entertaining this message. Just know things are being rearranged because you don't know. Until something happens and you react differently, that's when it's like, whoa. That's when you know you've been willing, just a little bit willing to go there. I wish it for all of you. And me. Little Lori needs it too. Still. Or so she thinks. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Sunday. Oh, that's right. I'm on my phone again. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.